Okay, so in this video, I share with you my initial take or my first impressions of the all-new Google Pixel 6a that you have here after using it for about 24 hours. Let's go ahead and jump in. Now, first things first, major shout out to Google for sending this review unit to the studio here. So as you can see, I got the phone early. It's currently not available. It will be available on the 20th. But if you go ahead and pre-order yours now, you may get yours a little earlier, or you could just go ahead and pick it up on the 20th. So pre-order is available as of the 21st. So as of 2 days ago, online, you could go ahead and do that online. And if you go ahead and order through Google or Amazon, you will actually get a free pair of the earbuds, the Pixel A series earbuds, right? So make sure that you take advantage of that if you are in the market for a budget phone. So let's go ahead and jump onto this guy here. Not sure if you know, it went through some level of controversy, right? Because because of some of the comments that MKBHD made. Now, we're not going to go ahead and dive into those comments made by MKBHD simply because his take was incorrect. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the phone itself. Physically, when you look at this phone, it has that same two-tone look on the back here that is very recognizable, especially coming from a Pixel 6 or a Pixel 6 Pro, right? If you remember, they look exactly like this, except this one is a smaller form factor. It actually fits very nicely in the hands. Now, I have gigantic hands, right? And I'm used to using larger phones, but for some reason, this actually fits so well in hands. It feels very well built, and I can tell you that the camera bar, like I like to call it, that black bar that you see across the back there, is a lot more subtle. Like, it's very subtle, tiny rays when compared to the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro, where the camera bar was actually thicker. But anyway, going around the phone here and taking a look at some of the physical features, you have the mic at the top there along with the antennas. On the right hand side here, you have the typical power button, volume rocker. Feedback is very good here, very clicky, and it's known, you know, we've seen that on previous Pixel A series in the past. At the bottom, you do have a USB Type-C port, and that'll be also how you charge the phone, which, by the way, let's talk about the charging. Unfortunately, this can go as high as 18 watt, which is not particularly fast, right? I mean, we're still talking a budget phone here, so we're not gonna give them a hard time because of that. On the right hand side, of course, you have your SIM tray. It does not have an SD or micro SD card tray or slot, so you have 128 gigs of internal storage here that is not expandable. I would just wish that was something that they can actually, that would be an option that they would add here, especially because it's a budget phone. By the way, please don't forget to hit both the like and the subscribe button there. I truly appreciate that. Now let's go ahead and move to the front of the phone here, and we're going to talk display. What you're looking at here is a 6.1 inches OLED display. Picture quality, very, very good. PPI here is actually pretty high at 430 because the resolution here is 1080 by 2400. So very, very sharp images. I absolutely love it. And still staying on the front here, the camera that you see is an 8 megapixel. That's the same one you have on the Pixel 6. Now, if we flip to the back here, talking about the camera on the back, what you have there is that new camera, 12.2 megapixel wide and a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. And I can already tell you that this guy, very, very good. Now, picture quality, amazing, right? And of course, that was expected because Google is known for its computational photography, right? So you take pictures and then all the work that goes to, you know, post-processing is just top notch. And here you can definitely experience that. Now I have to go ahead and do additional testing. Now let's go ahead and talk about the platform itself. It is loaded with that Tensor chip, the same one that you find in the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro. And you couple that with 6 gigs of RAM, I just go ahead and let you imagine what the performance is like here. Very good. Now let's quickly address something that was trending on Twitter. That was hashtag 60 hertz. And of course that was caused by MKBHD. There was a whole controversy in terms of the 60 hertz that this phone is loaded with right here. If you remember the Pixel 6, you were looking at 90 hertz, up to 90 hertz. The Pixel 6 Pro, you're looking at up to 120 hertz. For some reason, specifically MKBHD, he felt as though the 60 hertz here was choppy, and that was debunked. And I can actually tell you that this 60 hertz here is just normal 60 hertz. It's working fine. As you can see, I can scroll and I have no issue. So I'm not sure why he experienced that with his unit. I couldn't speak on that, but all I can tell you is that disregard anything you may have seen trending on Twitter in regards to the 60 hertz on this phone here. It is fine. And again, it's the general consensus in the tech community that there's nothing wrong with this 60 hertz. It is actually very smooth. It's a very smooth 60 hertz. So if you were considering picking up this phone, don't go ahead and get discouraged. But anyway, enough of that. Actually, the other thing was that the fingerprint sensor wasn't working when it actually works without any issue. As you can see here, right there, it works just fine. So I don't know if people are actively going out there to bash these phones. I have no idea. And here's the kicker though. If you are spending $449, because this guy is gonna run you $449, you're spending $449 to buy a budget phone. Why in the world are you expecting flagship features on a budget phone? It's confusing to me, right? If you want something with 90 hertz, higher refresh rate, you add $150, buy the 6, right? The Pixel 6. If you want 120, go ahead and just upgrade. Buy a phone that has 120 hertz. And I know some of you are going to say, well, there's another phone that costs $400 and it has 120 hertz. We could do that all day, right? Because I can also tell you that there's no phone in this price range that has this type of camera, that has this type of power in the camera, the computational value that's offered by this camera. We could do that all day, but we have to be reasonable, right? If you want something flagship, buy a flagship phone. I usually don't let these things get to me, but it's frustrating to see that trending because it damages the brand, right? It damages the phone. You know, I don't want to go on a tangent here. So let's just keep it simple. If you want a flagship phone, go buy a flagship phone. You get all of the flagship devices, all of the flagship features, my mistake, all of the flagship features that you are looking for. Don't buy a budget phone and expect it to perform like a, well, by the way, this actually does perform very well, pretty much like a flagship phone. Don't buy a budget phone or a mid-range phone and expect, you know, flagship features. It just doesn't work like that. Anyway, so back to the phone. This so far is a fantastic phone. I think it's great value for $450. And of course, it's not a perfect phone, right? So there's a lot of things you could point to, but not the 60 hertz, not the fact that, you know, it doesn't have wireless charge, although it would be nice, right? So the back here actually feels like glass, you know, would have been nice to have wireless charger, but again, it's a budget phone, right? Some of the more legit complaints that you can bring up would be maybe the fast charge, right? I think this guy goes up to 18 watt. You know, let's not skip actual legit issues or legit points that we can highlight and, you know, just look for things to complain about. Let's not do that. So far, this is a go for me. I'm still testing, but I'm already recommending this to people looking for something with this form factor. I'm already recommending this phone here. And of course, the UI, the user experience, the Android user experience is much, much better here, right? Because this is the mother of Android devices, given that it's made by Google. So these are some of the things that you need to keep in mind. The user experience, you know, the actual phone, the actual value that this one offers at $449. But anyway, that was my rant and a quick take. I will be dropping the full review of this phone here. I didn't really do an unboxing simply because there's really not much in the box, right? You get essentially the same very thin box with the charger, the cable, the SIM tray, ejector, and the manual. That's pretty much it. So no need to go ahead and do an unboxing. But anyway, that's just my take on this so far. Let me know what your take is. Are you planning on buying this phone here? I'm certainly hoping to catch you in the comment section. Let me know what you think of this whole controversy. I'll catch you in that comment section. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. Make sure to like, subscribe, of course. Up until that next video, of course, as always, stay safe out there.